Christmas is still up, as you can see, and the tree is still here. Aiden couldn't come until Saturday, so we're still very Christmassy around here, and that's okay with us. Moosie and I are, in a few months, I would say, about ready to have a big lifestyle change at this point in our life. And we face that with a lot of sadness of leaving here where we've been in this little Adobe on Micah and Colleen's property up in the hills with beautiful views, and my cute little Adobe that I've just filled with all my treasures, but mostly because we have been here for 22 years with all these grandchildren that were born here and that we grew up with. Just, they live in the big house up the hill. We've been able to live independently, which is what we wanted. And even as we grew older and Moosie's health problems began roughly about 9 or 10 years ago with falls and hip breaks and neck breaks and various other ills, and now, of course, dealing with cancer. As we get older, we're still able, thank the Lord, to be able to live on our own. At times it's difficult, and I'm able to be the caretaker. Now, Micah and Colleen have lived in this house all those years that we've been here. And it's been so wonderful for us to spend our retirement years here, so close to other family members, to Colleen and Micah, to be able to help them out and babysit when they needed, but mostly to grow up with these children. Those days of Ryan and Shannon and Brendan sitting in my bed with me, making little wool dolls or reading stories or eating hummus and crackers, and Ryan asking the cutest questions and talking with them, that's been the best part of it all. And we always said at the time when we moved in and we had stuff, we moved out of a almost 5,000 square foot home, the home where we raised all our children, or a lot of them. We did live in various other places, but we lived in that home in a nearby town here, minimum acres owned, and they had horses and rabbits and dogs and cats. It was my Courier and Ives home, and we lived there for probably 22, 23 years. And it's almost the same as we lived here in our retirement years. So we leave here with a very sad heart, but at the same time, as Debbie pointed out, it could be somewhat of a relief of my mind of purging all these things I've collected for so many years, and it will be maybe easier to let go because I know I have to. Now, Micah and Colleen have decided to put the house on the market in the spring. And that means that people who will be looking at the house at that point will also be looking at the cottage. And right now, my cottage is just too stuffed with things. And there are things that need to be done to the cottage. We have termites, and so they want to do a termite thing. There's a part of the roof that has to be repaired, and a lot of things that you can imagine an almost 100-year-old Adobe brick dwelling has to periodically have. And so it's going to be an adventure somewhat. Now, all the kids have been informed of all this, and we knew this was coming. We said when we moved in that we could afford to probably live to 84. Now that, in those days when we moved in here, we were just retiring, probably 68, 67, and 84 seemed so old to us. And we thought, well, with our finances and the savings that we've managed to collect and whatever, and what we bring in monthly in I have a small teacher's retirement, and Moosie has a VA stipend of sorts for health reasons, and our Social Security and whatever. And we took all that into consideration. We thought, well, we'll probably live to about 84, because both our sets of parents, my parents both died in their mid to late 70s, as did Moosie's. In fact, his dad died at 65. So we did not expect to be long-termers, let's put it that way, at this point. In fact, I said, well, wow, we kind of lived too long in a way. Matthew hates it when I say that, though. Well, as I mentioned in the last video, Moosie and I are going to have to start some big-time purge. And I'm not talking just a little few bags here and there. I'm talking the big dumpster dump thing, much bigger than the kids did 2 years ago on my birthday. Remember that giant dumpster that I got caught going through the next morning after they cleaned out my shed? Oh yes, I did rescue a few things, but I'm not going to be able to do that this time. So purging is the big thing right now. And what we have decided to do, because we know we can do it right now, and down the line, if we need some other form of living, we can do that. But we've decided to look for a 2-bedroom, like a terrace apartment or something, not a big giant building. And you know me, I love my cottagey stuff, and that would be a bit much. But we do have to remember that we do need wheelchair access. Now, I know there are many what they call independent living or senior assisted living, over 65 plus, and 55 over. And by the way, did you like the review of all the crazy kitchen gadgets that I found in my stuffed drawers? Well, a lot of them I've been using, especially those toolbox tools, because as your aging begins and you are entering those super ager years, you lose your energy in certain parts of your body, especially in the kitchen for cooking. My hands, my arthritic hands, had gotten a little tired, and I wasn't able to open all the canned goods and things. And so I checked my toolbox and found that the wrench, the pliers, and some other tools, needle nose pliers, help to really get those things open. So there's a variety of tools, and I hope that you'll go on Amazon. Most of these things you can find on Amazon. So if you enjoyed it and you want some of those things, go on Amazon and pick yourself up some. So we are looking for an apartment, 2-bedroom because I would like that extra room, at least for now, for my sewing, and maybe I'll be able to get to some of these little not rock painting. I doubt if I'll get back to too much tile painting, but I do have so many little things that I like to do. Plus, I really enjoy my time with all of you. You have become my dear friends, and I want to continue all of this. Now, Moosie needs his Moosie's World with his TV, and this way we have sort of separate areas where we can do our thing and live pretty much on our own, as long as we do have some area to park my car, which is a very old car, but I love it, my van, and there's hopefully the van and I can live the same life together. So Moosie and I have discussed this, and we're not ready to go into any facility where we need some care. We're not ready. We're able to live independently. Plus, we prefer that right now at this stage in our life. And I know the children have said, you know, you can live with us, whatever. We're not ready to do that yet. We really want to still be independent while we can. Now, as far as what I've looked at in some of these 65 and older apartments, they offer so many things like pickleball courts and bingo and this and that and meals and whatever. We don't need any of that. No, I'm not into that. No pickleball or bingo at this point. If we want that, we've got the kids to do all that with. So our living will just continue to be simple and enjoying our little cocoon. Hopefully we find something with a little patio or a cute balcony, and that's about what we're looking for at this point. We don't need all the extra amenities, that's for sure, other than something with wheelchair access, and that would not be any stairs, of course. So here we go. But the children have talked about this with us, and we're going to go to an area that is near to Moosie's hospital and all the doctors that handle his present problem with the oncologist and various other doctors, blood work and everything. And so we'll be moving more toward North Orange County, where quite a few of our children live. And of course, it's that much closer to Mikey in San Diego. And of course, Bill, our oldest son, Billy, is in Idaho, but he does come down quite a bit with Bonnie, and that's wonderful. So the children are all on board on this, and they've all said that, yes, they will come and help us with the purging, because my energy is not what it was even 2 years ago, where I could really participate. The problem with the purge is that I do have to check everything before it goes to Goodwill or the kids or the dumpster or whatever. So if we get the kids to spread it all out and I go through it, we go through the house and out there, we will have a small storeroom to save certain things that do have to be saved. But there are pieces of furniture here that are going out. We can get rid of them, certain ones that we're saving. In a way, it's a something to look forward to, but on the other hand, it's got the sad aspect to it too. Micah and Colleen, the upkeep of the house is horrendous. What with the gardener a couple times a week, they have so much to be trimmed all the time, and pipes breaking. As a matter of fact, a pipe broke yesterday, and poor Micah was out there trying to fix it and had to fix it this morning again, and the water was turned off for a whole day. And so there's a lot in a place like this up in the hills. Now we will be replacing coyotes and other animals like our raccoons and various things that travel back and forth on the house at night. Not so much as they used to, but the beautiful view that Moosie sees every day when he sits outside. We'll miss all that, obviously. We have been so blessed to have lived here with Micah and Colleen independently on our own here in this little cottage, but so near to them that the kids can run back and forth. And of course, now they're all in college. Ryan is out of college, Brendan is graduating, and Shannon will be soon. So we can understand the fact that they want to maybe downsize a bit, but at least sell when it looks like it might be a good time, and that's what it seems to be. So we are so grateful to them for this, but we face this new change with curiosity, a little bit scared, but I know with the help of all the children we can do it. So everybody, including the great grands and the grands, have their eyes on areas or certain complexes, little terrace sort of ones with lots of trees, whether we can find that. Mikey is doing a financial plan for us to figure out what we can afford and what we can't. So everything seems to be progressing just in the matter of days. And I think 2 hours after I was speaking with Colleen and Mike about this, I was in the bathroom filling up big giant pails of all those medicines that have been sitting on the shelves for years and years. That's the type of purging that we'll be doing. A lot of that plus everything else. So guess what you're going to be seeing a lot of? Yes, probably some purging videos. You'll get to see what goes where and what's happening around here. And definitely, Debbie has already said she wants to come over and look at some of my evening clothes and things. You know, I'm at that stage now in my life. I still love clothes. I love jewelry. I love it all. But my lifestyle does not support all of that. I don't need all of those. All my fancy boots and shoes and everything, they're great. And I could put them on if I sit down. But once I start trying to walk in them, forget it. I have to remember I'm in my 89th year and life is different, very different. And all those Christmas sweaters, I have to make a selection of them, and the rest of them can go to everybody else. Now, Margie, I think I told you she's lost over 50 pounds, and maybe she'd be interested in some of my clothes. It's a lot. You know, everyone says now don't be saving things for the kids. Probably what we do when we get it all out on tables or whatever, let the kids go through what they want, and then the rest can be donated or whatever. So I hope that you'll bear with me and support us as we go through this. How many of you have done this, made a big lifestyle change in your big retirement years? I'm not talking 65, 70. That's 68 is about the time we made our other big change, and that was horrendous, moving from the big house with all our stuff here. And at the time we had this shed, so Moosie said no storeroom. So that's what happened to the shed with all the stuff from the big giant house. I also had my business, Romancing the Home, which was a retail business and a national catalog. And when I closed the business, oh gosh, that wasn't until 1992. We had so much left over from the merchandise from there too. So there's so much. And Micah put a lot of stuff up when we moved in 22 years ago, up in the rafters of the shed. And I haven't seen any of that stuff since because I couldn't get to those rafters. But in my earlier years here, I spent many of the times climbing over tubs and things out there to dig out what I needed. But now I'm not able to do that. By the way, I sent for a tinted moisturizer the other day, mainly because I enjoy putting makeup on in a hurry. I don't like to take my time doing it. I'm not a big fan of putting it on, mainly because I haven't done it all my life. I'm sort of a newbie. I don't think I started delving into real makeup, foundation and stuff until I was about 82. So I wanted something that was quick, and I saw someone, and I can't remember who, that had been using a tinted moisturizer. Now, maybe it was Angela Mason, or Mason is her name, and I think she might have been using a tinted moisturizer, and I thought, wow, it also has the sunscreen in there, and I thought, well, not that I'm out in the sun that much, but it was quick and it went on quick and it didn't look like a heavy makeup. I thought I'd try it. Now, the dermatology was the big one, but I didn't want to, since I was experimenting, I didn't want to go and spend $31 on it. So I found one by Wet n Wild, and it's a tinted moisturizer, and I didn't get the lightest one. There were only 3 or 4 shades, but it was called a medium light. And I think that suits me fine. I did pick up this Wet n Wild on Amazon, and I think it was only somewhere between $5 and $7. So it was a good one to start with, and it does definitely do the job, I think. I put it on quite lightly this morning when I was doing all of this, and gosh, it covered all my little Jersey sunspots and old age spots, and I was shocked that it did so well. But then I remembered I used to use an e.l.f. primer that had a tint to it, and that used to work 3 or 4 years ago. You know how you progress and find new things. So this is what I'm using. If you like a lighter look, that's fine. Now, looks like I might have gone a bit heavy on the blush, and I do use the e.l.f. blush, these rose, sparkling rose. It's a $5 one. It goes quickly, but I discovered that if I use a brush, when it gets down flat, I can use the brush and push it around and then just put it on with a brush, which I normally don't use. My looks a little bit heavy now, but it makes me look healthy, right? And the makeup is still the same on the eyes. I did dig out some of my other mascaras, which I had, and I did find one of my L'Oreal luminosity type, what is it called? My L'Oreal makeup, which we all love. So I have that mascara on, and my normal, just a little eye pencil underneath, and my Revlon Iced Amethyst lipstick. Always my glow. And this is also a L'Oreal Paris Slay Rose. I think it's a pinky color a little bit. And I put that on my cheeks, up here, nose, and here still. So the only difference was this tinted moisturizer, and I like the look. And the shirt is denim, which I do love. I have several of these. This one has big puffy sleeves, by the way, and it's a good winter denim. I have some of the other ones, and it's a little big on me, but I do like the big sleeves, and always love denim anyway. I was sitting here, and guess what I feel down here? Every time I use pads lately, when I put them in, even though I put my bra straps over them, they fall. So I have to start using these clips underneath, by the way. So this is one of my tricks, by the way, that I used to use of helping myself to look a little bit less like an older woman. And I always felt that posture and keeping a nice square look was a good way to go. So I have used shoulder pads as much as I can in certain outfits. And you can see how one shoulder would droop, the other one's up there. And this does bring up the sleeve a little bit too. So you shouldn't have fallen out. So where to begin with all this? Well, Aiden comes Saturday. Matt's promised to come over one of these days, and the rest of the team will come in for the big stuff when we start the shed. Right now, I think we're going to work on the house, and I think I might be able to get a couple of the big pieces of furniture out. And Micah and Colleen are having one of those pickups of heavy stuff, and I do have a couple of heavy pieces of furniture that are really not savable, and we'll probably put them there. But we'll get the Christmas down, and that's a good start, isn't it? But I still love it. By the way, guess what was a sneaky one this year? My amaryllis. Let me get that for you. Will you look at this? Is this beautiful or what? Colleen gave this to me several weeks before Christmas, and at the time it had one little bud down here. I didn't get any of those droopy leaves on this one, only buds. And it was a little late, and Matthew's things were blooming, Dubby's were blooming, Colleen's bloomed. Mine just kind of kept growing. I sat it outside in the warmth, but we had a lot of rain and cold weather, so it didn't get the warmth and the sun that it needed. So I moved it inside, and I put it kind of on a table by the tree and forgot about it. And lo and behold, a couple days ago, I looked at it, and it decided to just spurt out without me looking or checking. Isn't this a beautiful flower? Now, these are waxed, and you don't have to water them at all. I think Colleen buys hers at Trader Joe's, but you can get them in some of the other stores too. Isn't this beautiful? I still have 2 more flowers to go, and many's the time you'll get an extra bud out too. What a beautiful flower, isn't it? So I didn't win the contest this year. I was the caboose of everything, but they sure did bloom beautifully. Anyway, I'm rambling on now, so I will end this and just ask you to please bear with us as we go along. I hopefully will be putting up random videos. I'm going to try and make a better schedule because that's what YouTube wants you to do. They want you to be a little more regular. That's been a little hard with us with doctor appointments and blood draws and things because I never knew when we'd be on the road to do these doctoring things. And so I wasn't able to do regular uploads. But they're so easy to do, especially if I can just talk and not worry about editing and just be with you, telling you how we're feeling and what progress we're making. And that's how I hope to handle all this. So first of all, I am asking for your prayers that all goes well through all this. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for being here all these years with us. Everything will continue with us, that's for sure. And hopefully you'll see me real soon again, whatever, in another day or two. I love you, my friends. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and God bless us all, everyone.